Thank you very much. We're chomping along here, guys. Chairman's report, you all have it, but I'd just like to briefly talk to it. It was a big month in Hawke's Bay period, really. Big month for me as well, with the Tenerife Dragon conference and Matatini, Horse of the Year. There was just so much going on that it was quite hectic and quite stunning, really. And I'm really privileged that I could be part of Tenerife Dragon and Matatini, and that we could fly that flag so high, and that made Kahanunu so proud. It made everyone in Hawke's Bay so proud. There was a few other things that are around that. I went to a pōwhiri at Kaupāriki, and they had a new po there, which was sensational morning, and also one at the Tukituki river mouth. Both with different people, but attended, but all people that are really concerned about the environment and linking Māori values to our environment, and I thought that they were really tremendous moments. I went to Wairoa, and that was really great going to Wairoa. I spent some time with the chair of the Wairoa Treaty Group at Matatini, and Matatini was or the Tenerife Dragon Conference, and Matatini were a really gathering of leaders of Māoridom, and especially of Kahanunu leaders, and it was a good opportunity to sit down and talk to people about the issues and the way they saw the issues. I actually met the chair of HBRC there too. I made him come, and I think he really loved it. We had our meeting there. Wairoa was Councillor Wilson joined me in Wairoa, and they had a marvellous extension to their council meeting, but it was really something else to see the way they did it, and the degree of sophistication that they had in their reports. Both of us were pretty flawed. They tend to have really vigorous open debates, and Mike Adey got stuck into them, and they got stuck into him back, and it was great to watch. So that was tremendous. I had a really interesting personal thing on the Awahau stream, runs through my property. Yeah, it does, and that's a journey for me too, because I now realise what Māori is saying about the streams, because the regional council have turned my stream into a drain, and I tell you what, it gets to you when you think of it like that. It really has an effect, and every time I look at it, I think those buggers have turned my stream into a drain. And they got all the justification to do it, but nevertheless, it affects you. I want us, as we go through the next couple of years, I'm wearing it at the moment, but I want a discussion on that.
Sorry, Chair, can you explain that? Meaning, has it been reclassified as a drain? Or?
No, they use it as, so it is a stream, yeah. But I can't plant up close to it because it has been used for drainage out of Hastings. They need to clear it, and they're ruthlessly clear. They treat it like a drain. From their perspective, from engineers' perspective, it is a drain. And I'm not happy with that. Now, I know there's the practicalities about that, but that is a big discussion which our region's got to have, and that is the very discussion, that is the very issue why Tana Te Whenua walked from Tank. So I kind of get a deeper understanding of the way, that's a big learning curve for me, and I want to just big learning curve for me about understanding how Māoris think about water, and over the last 6 months I've been on that journey, and it's definitely different the way we think about it as farmers. So, any other questions? I mean, didn't even get to page 2. It's been a pretty big week of a month. A meeting we had with the oil people, Paul Bailey and I had, was, and James was there, and I think he was a bit nervous what we were going to say. He was moving around in his chair a bit. But I thought it was a particularly good meeting. We didn't leave them any doubt, and they didn't leave us with any doubt, and that's the way it is. But we were polite to each other. Yeah, questions?
Just the number of dinners you're attending, Mr. Chair.
Well, is it that obvious?
Awful lot if you'd ask how much weight he's put on.
I tell you what, I put on 2 Ks over that. They had like a Koro club, they called it something different, but the kai was free in this tent, and it was very elegantly presented, and it was very tempting every day. At Matatini, that was hard to resist. If there's no more questions, do I have someone to move that, accept that report, Chairman's report? Oh, I can't move my own report. Okay, I will move to accept my report, and Councillor Pepper will second it. All those in favour? Thank you. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're now on to items, minor items. The first minor item is the appointment to the CE appointment subcommittee of the co-chair of the Regional Planning Committee, Toro Waka. We've had a discussion on this already. As you know, councillors, the only ones who can vote on their new CEO appointment. But we traditionally had the chair of the Māori committee, who happens to be Mike Mohi, and I have recommended that we add to this the co-chair of the Regional Planning Committee, which effectively is the treaty claimant groups, to this appointment. So that I'm proposing this.
Chair, why are you making the recommendation to the subcommittee and not to the full appointment process?
I thought it was.
No, not as I read this.
That actually reads wrong, doesn't it? It does read wrong. Thank you, Debbie, for pointing that out.
So just to clarify, so you're asking just for the interview process is what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm happy to move, Chair.
The interview process, yeah.
Happy to move that.
Thank you. Can I just clarify that so everyone's very clear, though? The interview process for our new CEO present will be in this those 2 chairs, which will be Toro Waka and Mike Mohi, and they will be able to ask questions and be part of the whole process. When it comes to vote, they will not be able to vote. That's
a question. Does the subcommittee actually do the shortlisting? Therefore, the paper is in order, and it needs to be an additional.
No, because you're already on the subcommittee.
Yes, but I mean, say if the subcommittee is doing the shortlisting, Toro Waka isn't on there.
No, but nor's all the other councillors. They're they. So we have you're on there representing Te Rata Whenua, and not all the councillors are on there.
As long as you're clear on that.
Yeah, I'm clear on that. And that's what moves. So we have the subcommittee, which is, who is that? Me, Mike, who's a subcommittee? Rick? Tom and Alan. That's the subcommittee, and then the full committee, and then we bring the short list to the full committee. Seconder? Discussion? Could you?
Yes. I think that this is a very good move from the point of view, if you're going to have a committee to one side, as we have in statute with the Regional Planning Committee, this enhances their mana for everybody that's around there. And in my ministerial job going around the countryside, other councils, when they're asking me about Hawke's Bay Regional Councils, they just say, well, I wish we had something like that.
So just in moving that, Chair, I agree with that, and I thank you for putting it on the agenda. It wasn't there originally, obviously, but I think it's the beginning of a bigger discussion about how we do coexist, and I think we should have that discussion, so we don't have to do this next time. It's in a policy of some sort, and it just happens. So.
I agree. This is the beginning of a journey and a bigger discussion. Any other comment? No comment. We have a move and a second. All those in favour? Aye. Against? It's unanimous. That's wonderful. Okay, what were the other minor items on the agenda? Sorry? Oh, Farmers Award. Fenton? Fenton Farmers Award.
Self-nominated.
Thank you, Chair. It was a privilege to represent the Chairman and the Council at the regional final of the Balance Farm Environment Awards. Interestingly, the winner, and you have to help me out here, Andrew, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and that's embarrassing, isn't it? You've got 2 minutes. The interesting thing for me is the winner is in the headwaters of the catchment of the Hauhuriri estuary, and I would encourage all councillors to go to that open day. And Rob Patello, who's next door, he was a finalist as well in the same catchment. He's more than happy to host councillors on his farm as well. Perhaps we could do it at the same time. When you consider the Ahuriri estuary is an issue that we've highlighted as a hotspot. They've lived there a long time. They understand the issues, and they are doing their bit to make sure they're not part of the problem. But I'd just like to encourage councillors to get along there and have a look at the final. So someone's looking it up for me. Come on.
No, this is last year.
Oh, no, we'll not repeat that.
The website's not up to
The
date.
website hasn't been up. Philip Holt, there you go. Thank you, Chief Executive. Yeah.
Are you able to circulate those dates, Fenton, when they...
I will make sure. We should all get an invite. The other thing which was quite poignant for me, there's a Māori family who have bought, well, the four of them now have got their own farm through sharing. Considered impossible, but they pooled their resources and bought a station in Wairoa, and then bought another one. Huge debt, hanging on by the skin of their teeth and storms and stuff. And one of them, in his current farm, which he's developing, he's been there 2 years, he won 3 of the sections on the night, which was quite stunning. Fantastic family, great story, been on Country Calendar. Last year, was it last year before, the one in Wairoa won the Ahu Whenua Māori Farming Business Award, and another of the brothers is a finalist this year. There's 3 finalists in the country, and then the other brother was winning all the prizes, if you like, at the Balance Farm Awards. So, fantastic farming story. Just thought I'd chuck that in. So,
Any of you think of being sharers? It's wide open. You, Mr. Chair, just to ask who was coming.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going, and I imagine as many councillors will try and get there as possible. Andrew and I had a discussion on this morning. Our intention is to close the office, close this building down before the time of the funeral, and put a sign on the door and say to the public, this is what we're doing. So all staff will be given leave to go. So
I expect there'll be quite a pretty significant turnout of staff, and the family has asked us to speak, and that's sitting with me at the moment, or Ian if he prefers, really, and because we would have liked Pete Davis to have done it, Ian, but Pete just doesn't think he's able to, so that's part of the service, and 2 staff are pallbearers. So I think the family's integrated the regional council team in pretty well, actually. Yeah.
okay,
The other one was Ken Apatu's will be on the marae tomorrow from about 11 o'clock at Omahu.
yeah, I will be there as well. Anyone who knew Ken will want to go to that, of course. Okay, I just want to say, oh yeah, going to confirm them. I just want, before I do that though, Mike suggested that we take a field trip to Tera. I think it's a particularly good idea, and have a look at that forest. We can also have a look at some of the other concepts and ideas that are happening on the northern end of Lake Tūtera. This week I had a meeting with Hanare Rātama again, and we involved some of our team. He's really coming around. He wants to do something, and he might even open the gate for all of us. But we certainly, we could try that, but I think we should set a time and go up to Tera, have a look at this forest, have a look at the other riparian plantings that have been done, and have a look at the issues on the northern end. So we will try and set a date. Mike, will you circulate? Oh, no, you won't. You'll be out the door. You'll be in France somewhere. We'll have to get Graham to, can you let him know that we want to do that? We want to go to Tera, a field trip.
Chairman, ahead of that, in order, if it's first come, first served, there's a standing request that Peter made a while ago. I made it to do Central Hawke's Bay and a whole series of issues.
So that is in the planning stages, so I'll let you know as soon as we've got a date. But yeah,
We have two field trips
certainly
on.
aware of that.
Yeah. Okay, what we have here is conservation, public excluded, so we're going to have to move into public